This week, we're strapping on our 6-shooters and diving into the dusty legend of 1993's Tombstone, featuring a mustachioed murderer's row of talent, including Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, and the scene-stealing Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. This Western brings the tale of Wyatt Earp back into the spotlight with style and swagger. So pull up a bar stool, pour a shot of whiskey, and ask yourself, is this movie still our huckleberry, or is this corral just okay?
Oh.
It's not an intro if it doesn't have something dumb.
Wow. I was in the car and didn't see that coming. Just riding along. I guess it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like how you. It's a nice turn of phrase there.
Yeah, thanks.
For your information, Gary, a little FYI. That was funny.
For your FYI information, I got some information for you. FYI.
That's a callback just for me and Gary, for those keeping score at home.
From merely moments ago, actually.
My eyes look at my eyes. Look like I've been crying, Gary.
You're probably watching Tombstone.
Not Tombstone. Something else we'll talk about later.
Okay. All right. And you'll recognize that it's all the same setting because I'm not changing my shirt. I got my Callahan auto shirt.
It's okay. I'm rocking my John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown concert shirt.
You can stick your head up the ass of it. Anyway.
Gotta be your Tombstone,
1993. I have to, one thing I just right out of the gate I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Is this came out shortly before Wyatt Earp, the Kevin Costner film.
Okay.
And I have to admit, in recollection, I think I was recalling parts of the story. Now, granted, they're telling pretty much the same story, although some could argue that Tombstone doesn't go deep enough on some stuff or whatever. But I think I recall a lot more of the wife in Tombstone or in Wyatt Earp than in Tombstone. And I think I was confusing the films a little bit because as I was watching it, I kept thinking, I think there's a part missing here.
Oh no.
But I mean, I don't know where you want to begin with this. Obviously Val Kilmer is the highlight of the film. And with his recent passing, we thought it would be nice to actually bring out one of his stellar performances to discuss. And how can you not bring up Tombstone into the conversation?
Yeah, oddly enough, again, his passing, which, it's weird. We knew it was coming, but yet I don't think anybody's prepared for any death, whether it's a family member or something. Even though it's coming, like he'd been sick and all that. And I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about that, but it did kind of took me by surprise. I started going back in my memories of like, what do I remember most about Val? Like what jumps out? Of course, Batman is the one that jumps to my mind immediately, and then Tombstone. But I couldn't recall much about this movie, knowing I had seen it, because this I think was in our this was out in our video store days, I believe, Gary, when we
I believe so.
Our infamous Blockbuster, Video Town, and Club Video 2. Two.
Someday we'll tell a story about that.
Yeah. So I knew I'd seen this movie. My problem is I'm not a huge Western fan, so my memory wasn't great of this movie. The only thing I ever really recall of this movie was that line, "I'll be your huckleberry," which again I never quite understood that line. Like I know what he's trying to say, or what it's supposed to seem, but I never know what the reference to huckleberry meant. So, but I remember that line. I thought it was cool. And the other thing I say, as far as Westerns go, to me, everything is just Young Guns. Because that was the Western that I really gravitated to.
I'm trying to compare.
Which I know that's totally sad.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of a good analogy to what Young Guns is to Westerns, because it's kind of like, I mean, it's there, but it's also like, it's got that Brat Pack kind of thing with it. So it's like,
that's the thing.
Not quite the same thing, but it's like the Young Guns was the Western for kids.
It was the snack food of Western films.
Yeah.
Like, it tastes good. There's no real substance to it. Like, man, these Doritos are crushing it. But you're gonna be hungry later because there's nothing in it, and that's what I felt. That's what, not to rip on Young Guns because I did enjoy it, but again, just putting in my brain how it works is I don't recall even seeing Wyatt Earp. I probably did. Again, it's just I don't remember this being in Wyatt Earp. It's like, well, because you're talking about Young Guns. You're
Well,
still talking about Young Guns.
yeah, you quit. Emilio
There's
Estevez
no
was not in. It was
there's no yoo-hoo, I'll make you famous.
did so okay. So did your dad not? Because for me, this is weird. This is a new revelation for me that I didn't know that you were not
Been
really.
friends for over 40 years. Don't know this part about me.
It's the Western thing that I didn't know. And for me, my grandfather and my dad both watched Westerns.
Yeah, no.
So for me, I was around Westerns quite a bit. And for me, I think there's part of it that, because I'll go back and watch like the Clint Eastwood films and stuff. And
Yeah, sure. Never seen. I don't think I've ever seen a Clint Eastwood.
and the
I mean,
movies,
I've seen Unforgiven.
they're all good, but it's
But wasn't
funny.
that Young Guns 3 or something on Unforgiven?
No, Andy still. It still was not.
I don't remember
Still not
seeing
Young.
Emilio Estevez in that one.
It's funny because Westerns are dramas. There's a little bit of action in them, but mostly they're dramas. So so while you have this, there's always anticipating the gunfight or anticipating the action of a drama, but it's never like the main focus. It's always building up, stuff for a lot of Westerns. And so for me, I think when you look at the overall aesthetic of a Western, you don't think action-packed film, and you don't think like really complicated storyline. I mean, a lot of Westerns are pretty simple and simple fare. A lot of it is revenge or a lot of it really, honestly, is revenge or the hero story of somebody coming in and saving a town or some shit, But so for me, it's very basic in lore, and I mean they're all very similar in taste.
Yeah.
All the Westerns. There's something different with this one with being from historical figures, but I always dug Westerns. I just thought they were fun, and I've always talked about being a revenge story kind of person. For some reason, those are movies that really I like.
Sure.
And so yeah, more and more I find myself really enjoying a Western.
You know, my takeaway from this is
Young Guns.
Yeah, Young Guns is awesome. You like whoring and whiskey.
Yeah,
and going after them Dalton boys.
There you
the
go.
thing I will say this, and I know we're not even talking about this.
A little bit of TB. A little bit of a cough.
He's bleeding. What do they call him? He's got the blood disease or something. The other thing I find fascinating, and this is just a kind of a commentary on then versus now. They were quick and fast with the killing a man for doing you wrong. So when you think about today's modern times, when people lose their shit over police brutality, back then they would have shot the person and then probably shot you or hanged you if you didn't watch your tone with me, young man.
Yeah, really.
I mean, I was like,
Wild West.
Wow, they are quick to just shoot a man. Like, can we talk about this for just one, before you shoot and kill my entire posse?
Yeah.
Can we have it? Just what do you want? What do we have? Like, let's make a deal here. Like, well, I got a piece of paper that says I get $1,000 to kill you, well, dead or alive. I'm going for dead.
Dead's easier to bring in.
And the fact that, like, and again, we don't have any concept that this is the way it really was. We believe this is what it was because that's what we're told. But the fact that the whole town comes out to watch a shooting or a hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ladies get their nice corsets on. They come out with their umbrella. Oh, dear old my.
And then they're all like, "Oh,
he's dangling there. Oh, that looks uncomfortable." It's okay.
It's funny too. Wait, so another thing about this film is we're talking about Tombstone from 93 or whatever, and I rewatched this recently with the passing of Val, and most recently, as in i.e. last night, I watched a different Western. Mm-hmm. And so trying to keep all of the Western stuff straight.
That's I feel like I'm starting to drift there into another one. So I was like, I better
better
find a way out of this conversation there, boy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when you were saying that.
You'll eat when I eat, you'll sleep when I tell you to sleep, and we ride when I tell you to ride. Oh damn, that was Young Guns too. Shit. But not Young Guns. Young Guns also.
Yeah. Well, it could have been two also. I don't know. Who
Two.
know?
Hey, listen, Gary. Rotten Tomatoes. Let's jump
Yes.
into this thing. Tombstone. You said came out in '93. It sits currently at 76 with the critics and 93 with the audience. Clearly, this has always been a fan favorite. You know, critics are going to pull it apart, which is kind of what they do. The one thing I was when I was watching this movie, I looked up the kind of the lore
Yeah.
of Wyatt Earp because I was curious. Like, all I know about Wyatt Earp is what has been told to me via film. And Hollywood has a way of
Not reliable.
yeah, they have a way of manufacturing a little bit more to the history of it. And what I'd read, and I was trying to find it before we came on here, but I couldn't find the article I read, was Wyatt wasn't as bad as his brothers. Like there was one brother, the
Virgil.
Sam Elliott character, Virgil. He was the real. They said he was the real guy. He was the guy who did most of the like. People were more afraid of him than they were Wyatt. Wyatt just had a bigger name. Maybe because the name Wyatt's pretty cool versus Virgil. I don't know if I don't know which one's cool, to be honest with you. I have a family member named Wyatt. He's pretty cool in my eyes. But anyway, I found that interesting because the legend has always been Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
So, and Doc Holliday, of course. I did find a review. So, as most people, I think, really do appreciate this film, there are some negative reviews. I found one I'd like to read, if you allow me.
Absolutely. But by the way, real quick, I just want to point out that we're reviewing a movie about Wyatt Earp. I made the backgrounds for us. I got you in there so you look like you're part of the group. And then with me, the main character is hidden behind my head. So I don't
So your head's like Sputnik is what you're trying to say.
Heed! Yeah, Heed.
There he is.
Right, anyway,
Move.
sorry. Go ahead.
Move.
Please. Rotten Tomatoes, an
actual review from someone else. Now, this review came out in May 10th of 2010. So, 15 years ago almost to the day. A guy named Brian Orndorff from brianorndorff.com. I'm giving him all the credit here. This is his review of Tombstone. It takes a lot more than the passage of time to value Tombstone. Naps, earplugs, and possibly tremendous amounts of alcohol also assist in the proper digestion of this feature. End quote. So, Brian wasn't a huge fan.
And please send all
BrianOrndorff.com. I don't even know if that's I should look to see if it's still a website.
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, I will say as far as the storyline, there's a little bit of a disjointed nature to the story at some point. It seems like the whole and it may be complete. And you know what? If this is a closer story to the history, maybe that's why. Mm-hmm. But the whole Dana Delaney side quest, if you want to call it that, he's got a side quest of getting with this other girl instead of his wife.
I get that. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Whatever. It just seems like a little bit of that stuff seems a little doesn't track with the main focus of the story. So it feels like it's a little bit of a offshoot. I personally, I mean, and it isn't just because of his passing. It is because of how important he is in this film. I could have used a lot more Doc Holliday. I mean, I just think Val Kilmer's portrayal is unmatched. And in the scenes that he was in, it stole the movie. And I think it almost holds up alone for that reason, that him being in it and playing that part and playing it so well and putting his own twist on it, whatever, it's like Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. I mean, you look at that as kind of like, man, that's one of the performances for the ages kind of thing.
Yeah, that movie's worth watching just to watch Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
If you don't even care about the movie. I would agree with you on that Val, I mean, I wanted more of the Doc Holliday character explained to me.
Yeah.
I would have liked a little more of that. He played it. Again, we don't know what it's really like to be that sick and all that stuff, but his character seems so cool. And I kind of like if I'm watching the movie and as a little kid, I'd want to be more of a Doc Holliday than I would have wanted to be Wyatt Earp,
Yeah, yeah, for
just
sure.
because he's kind of a gambler. Uh, Apparently he's a dentist. Was that the doc part? Is he's a dentist, correct?
I
If I
think
remember.
so. I believe so.
So he's a dentist, a gambler, a gunslinger. Like, I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, not that kids grow up wanting to be dentists, but the gunslinger and the gambling, shit, yeah, that's kind of badass.
I only know of an elf that wanted to. Anyway, that's terrible.
It's too early for that stuff, Gary.
It is. We
You
still
got to
got
warm
like
up. You need a crowd work
Wait, too early in the morning or too early in the year?
in the year. Do some more crowd work. Work on that. Get out to the comedy club. Work that one out a little bit.
I'll see what I can do. All right.
So yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is a really good film. It's a little long for me, which I find. It seems, I don't know if all westerns are this way, but they seem to be a little long in the tooth. Like, come on, just cut to the, like you said, if you could have cut out some of the storyline of the chase and Dana Delaney, it's okay. It just it doesn't move the story anywhere from me.
Yeah.
I know you're not trying to appease me. I'm just saying from my perspective, my point of view, some of these films go a little long. Like, okay. I mean, it seems, I'll say this, the ones we're going to talk about in the next couple episodes, they all felt a little long for me. I don't know what this speaks volumes about the films or my attention span, or I just want more just John Wick type films. Just get to the chase.
I'm guessing it's probably all
of those.
Yeah, some sort of degree of each.
But this is long, but it doesn't feel horribly long. It doesn't feel uncomfortable.
I guess ultimately, Andy, the question is then, I mean, this is a cult classic.
Yes.
So the question is whether you find yourself a member or non-member of the cult.
Oh, I would say I'm a member. I would watch this again. If someone wanted to sit and watch this, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll sit and watch Tombstone again. This is making me, so having watched this and another one we're going to do later on, I kind of want to maybe start watching some Westerns because maybe I am missing something. You know, you talked about it earlier, like I asked about my dad. My dad, growing up, he didn't have anything really that he was particularly favored with. He didn't care. I mean, the kids, we watched whatever we wanted to watch. If we were watching Dukes of Hazzard, he watched Dukes of Hazzard. He didn't, except now he liked his Archie Bunker, and MASH and stuff like that. But I mean, he never was this is my thing, man. Let's sit down and watch these movies. Now as of recent, my father at 81 is watching a lot of Westerns for some reason. But I was talking to him the other day and he said that it's kind of, takes you back to his younger years when he was a kid. When he was very poor, when they had a TV, it was Gunsmoke. You know, that was the big TV show back then. So he's like, I do enjoy going back and revisiting this, but I think that's more just familiarity. You know, the same reason I could sit and watch Welcome Back, Kotter right now. Show is dumb as a box of hair, but it feels good. It's my box of hair.
I believe that's a new turn of phrase I have not heard before.
Oh, that's Teresa. That's a Teresa one all day long. She's like, that's dumb as a box of hair. If you think about it, that's pretty dumb. But
it is, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's it. But yeah, I'm called. I would sit and watch this again. I mean, if somebody wanted to sit and watch this, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm a member as well. I'd
forgotten that I did this movie. You know.
Yeah. Good film. Enjoyable to watch it again. I'm glad I did. I want to kind of go back through some of the catalog of Val Kilmer now too, and just revisit some of that stuff, and hopefully we will. We can talk a little bit more about that here.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't remember Real Genius, and I know we've talked about that, and I'm like, God, I feel like I'm missing out because I can't recall seeing this film.
Yeah.
We talked to your good friend Hal Sparks. Whoa, what was that just fell? Oh, that was a name drop.
Yeah, I like how you attributed to my good friend.
He had a great. We did.
We're always touching base.
Off topic. We did have a conversation with him, and he has a great take on Real Genius and stuff. But anyway,
yeah.
Maybe later. That's all I got, Gary. Go watch it. If you haven't seen this movie in a long time, you should watch it. I mean, the cast is outstanding in this film.
Yeah, great group of.
I mean, if nothing else, just to see this gathering of actors is phenomenal.
Yeah, and and some good mustaches.
Well, that was the era. The mustache was really this era in the '70s porn era. So we pick which one you like.
The mustache was on point in this film.
It was on Van Dyke. Is that the one Val was sporting there?
Maybe. Could be.
Isn't that called a Van Dyke?
Could
Or is
be.
the Van Dyke a little longer?
Don't know. Can't attest to that. What the hell do I know?
I'm going with the whiteout.
I'm going with the scruffy, like, the only hair I can grow. Wow. Hey, if you guys have seen Tombstone, and if you haven't, go watch it. Please let us know.
You became Norm Macdonald for it. Hey,
there, guys. Hey, Tombstone. That's
hey,
yeah. Get down in the comments. Let us know if you're a member or not a member.
Doc, you look like you're dying over there. Oh boy.
Yeah, a little blood in your. Anyway, gosh, that's terrible. Thanks, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let us know. Are you a member of the cult? Andrew?
Good.
Not every tale is told, but some are cult-born classics, misfits turn to gold. Come on, baby, punch that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. See you in the comments.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.